Welcome to day one, week 8. The first superset we're gonna do is we're gonna do this 3 times. We're gonna do a split squat, reach and row, 15 seconds each arm. We're gonna do a seated Z press, which is a new movement, 15 seconds total. And we're gonna do a bicycle for 20 seconds. So again, we're gonna do this 3 times through. A split squat, reach and row. You're gonna go ahead and get in your base split squat. The leg that is back, yep, we're gonna be rowing with. You're gonna make sure you're reaching all the way out and rowing right to your hip, just like everything else. Look at how our arm is moving in opposites, so you're controlling the middle of that back. All the way back, all the way through. And we're gonna be doing 15 seconds each arm. So if we switch, there's the other side, anchored split squat. You're gonna be rowing through. Again, if you're at a gym, you could easily do this with a cable stack. Good. Our next exercise is called a Z press. It's really hard on your lower back. If you can't do it seated, go ahead and do it standing. So we're gonna sit on our butt. We're gonna drive those legs into the ground, legs straight. Drive those legs into the ground, and she's gonna be pressing straight above her head, all the way up. My wife makes the movement look very easy. It's a very difficult advanced movement. Now again, we could also be doing this body weight. That's okay as well. Good, good job. Last but not least for core, we're gonna be doing our basic bicycle. We'll go ahead and get down on our ground. Go ahead and make sure that back is grounded, which means the belly button is, imagine I'm pushing it through the ground. Legs go up, and we're reaching with those elbows. We're going bicycles, we're pedaling away. Now really try to get the legs to go into cyclical action like you're actually pedaling a bike, so you're getting that lower ab involved as well, but also extension of the hip flexor in the lower back. Our next superset, we're gonna do this 3 times through. We have a chest fly, which is 20 seconds. We're gonna be laying on the ground or a bench if you have one at the gym. We'll do a banded pull apart, which you could also use cables. We're gonna do that for 15 seconds total, and we'll be doing a glute bridge with a march, which will be your cardio of this set for 30 seconds. On the chest fly, what we'll be doing is we'll be going out and back, making sure those elbows stay bent, and you'll be squeezing through the chest as we go. Now again, just because you don't have pecs doesn't mean aesthetically that a chest fly won't tighten up and help some of this shoulder and above the chest to actually come together aesthetically. She's coming through, squeezing in between her sternum and right outside of her shoulders. Good, rest. Our next exercise is a banded pull apart. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna grab the band, depends on where you're at. The closer your hands are together, the harder the movement's gonna be. The further apart, the easier the movement's gonna be. You're gonna try to keep your elbows above, and you can be pulling this straight apart. We're gonna be working through the upper part of that back and also in between the shoulder blades to create some density and lines in the middle of your back. Pull that straight apart. Notice how our elbows are staying nice and high. Good. Our last movement is a glute bridge with a march. Now we're gonna go ahead and go down on our back. We're gonna keep tension in our hands up in the air. Both legs are under yourself. Glute bridge up, and we are gonna march as high as we can without losing height. Now we're gonna try to go fast. March through those heels, big high knees. It's a lot more difficult than it looks, I promise that. A lot of tension, a lot of movement in the lower back and the hips, and a lot of stability has to be had within this movement. Rest. Our last movement of day one is a heel elevated squat like we've been doing to increase that range of motion, but we're also gonna be pushing the plate out. We're gonna do the superset 3 times, that's for 20 seconds. The next movement is gonna be a 4-corner jump, which you'll be doing for 45 seconds to really end your workout on a high note and get those endorphins rolling. On the heel elevated squat, what you wanna time up is as your hips go back, you push out, so we're also gaining hip control as well as thoracic extension, just like when you move in real life. You hinge and you push. It's the same thing here. So as she squats down, she's gonna be pushing out, pulling in as she goes up, pushing out as she goes down, pulling the plate in as she goes up, all the way out, all the way in, and rest. Good. Our 4-corner jumps, I want you to imagine you have 4 dots placed out in front of you. You can put down dots in front of you if you want for a visual. We're gonna be going up, down, left, right, or left, right, up, down. Does not matter the sequence as long as you're hitting all 4 corners. You ready? Here we go. 4 corners. Make a box in your head. Continue it for 45 seconds, really working on ankles, really working on mobility and stiffness in the lower limb.